Okay, so everybody is familiar with the reaction videos. People watch a movie and then they post a video talking about what it was like, whatever. Well, I'm going to tell my personal take on Joker. It was hard to watch. It was a good movie. To me, I would take it more like a documentary, more or less, more than a movie about the character, the Joker, and his descent into madness. And for me personally, it was hard to watch because of how closely I can relate to the guy's story, really. If you watch any of my other personal videos, then you know that I was diagnosed a long time ago with a severe borderline personality disorder, and the root of that goes all the way to pretty much the day of my birth. Where I was born to parents that didn't want me, and instead of aborting me or at least giving me up for adoption as somebody might have, I was raised as an inconvenience and treated just as directly. But I was the youngest of four in the household of the kids, and I was even mistreated by them, my two brothers and my sister. I mean, not my youngest brother, who was one up from me, treated me horribly, forever. Now my older brother and sister that were in the house were half brothers and sisters, and they were good to me for the most part until they moved out, or I could more say they were kicked out, and then they just disappeared. I no longer existed, and they never really had much to do with me ever since, which just destroyed me as a little kid. I was completely left alone at that point. I had nobody left. My parents didn't want me, and like I said, my brother treated me just as bad. So with the Joker's character, I can relate to his background and the abuse, and thankfully I can say that even as far down the hole as I am right now in my life, I'm thankful that I'm not imagining things, gotten that far. But just the anger and this character being attacked mercilessly and senselessly, I can relate to that on numerous occasions. Because when you go through so much at home, it affects your outside life. And so I was abused seriously at home, and then I never fit into that school, which led me to be a target of severe bullying and abuse, stuff that I endured in school that no kid should have to go through. Then part of his mental decline were due to being beaten severely and severe head injuries, which I also I suffered 3 or 4 head injuries during my childhood. So it makes me wonder if that has to play in with anything going on that's happened to me and my psychological standing right now. But so it's, there's several times during the movie that I seriously thought of just getting up and walking out because it was just hitting so close to home that it was hard to watch. But yeah, that's my take on it. I guess probably a lot of people would have thought, the Joker, being part of the Batman series and all that, there kind of be some cheesiness to it or whatever. But no, it was definitely a straight-faced, serious movie. Like I said, it could almost be a docudrama. The way the producers and actors and all that played their parts, that it was almost like you were actually following this guy around with a camera and just watching everything being done to him and what he was enduring and falling apart to the final descent into madness at the end. But the ending was a little confusing because with his... Okay, so the end of the movie ends with him standing on the car being surrounded and cheered by all people. He thought he stood for something that he really didn't stand for. He was used as an icon when really all you're doing is just defending himself against the cold and uncaring world that we live in. But you would think that would be his rise into criminality. Instead, at the end of the movie, he flips and he's in a shrink's office, in a psych hospital. So it made me wonder. I don't know, maybe it'll be revealed later or something. But did the movie really happen, or was it all just in his mind and we watched a hallucination the entire time, and then it panned back into reality of him and the shrink's office? I don't know. I thought that part was a little interesting to contemplate. But I would recommend the movie. Yeah, it was good, and it was a long movie. But I would caution that just watch your own state of mind. If you're going through things, take that into consideration before you do go watch the movie. It can conjure up some thoughts and images of stuff that you may have gone through. And I saw the movie a couple weeks ago, and it still weighs on my mind, and there's too much to really try and flesh out and describe, clarify, what's going on, in my thought pattern, of all this and everything. But yeah, like I said, just keep that in mind. No kids. Don't take any young kids to this movie. But Other than that, yeah, I say go watch it. It is least-wise, if you're one of the people who are lucky enough to have had a good life and friends and family and that kind of thing, I still would probably find it at least interesting. And that's my reaction video, my reaction take on it. So make up your mind.